You guys, Snupy here. So we finally got some good news in regards to Feral Druid in PvP, which I'm very excited to share. I made a bunch of videos kind of highlighting problems, probably a bit too many. I don't really like complaining too much, but I thought, I should use my platform to bring attention to this because there's been some big issues. Even skill cap of Feral Druid as the lowest ranked melee in the recent tier list. And yeah, it's been quite rough this season. So yeah, these new changes are very welcomed. Let's go through it. It's not only Feral Druid changes, of course. Actually, quite a few changes, like overall, general PvP changes that I'm also going to cover. But let's get it going. So, keep in mind, this is like the PvE part. Some of this stuff is also effective in PvP, unless it's specified that it's not in PvP. So, for example, Rip damage, Rake damage, Prime Wrath, Feral Frenzy, these are not in PvP, but Lunar and Rapid Ferocity are increased in PvP now. I think a build with Lunar could be very nice. I didn't really play this whole season, but I do believe I'm going to make a build with this talent now. It's a very fun talent, and I do want to play it, and this might make that more justifiable. Rapid Ferocity damage increased by 25%. Should be quite nice in certain cleave scenarios, but I don't think it's not that big of a deal, and I probably will still play Sudden Ambush over Rapid Ferocity. But we'll see. It might be a situational thing. Keep in mind, this is like the general stuff, right? But if we scroll down, we have PvP-specific changes. And actually, some pretty interesting general changes, which we'll cover before we go to the Feral stuff in PvP. So, basically, Cloth specs classes now gain additional 35% armor in arenas and battlegrounds. So, I think it's like a one-shot meta right now, and this will hopefully kind of scale that back a bit. You don't want it to be too damp and such either, but I do believe it's a good change that shouldn't push it too far in the other direction, but still kind of, streamlining the experience and making it better for more players. Because right now, I think the meta is a bit too fast, and you die in a bit too, probably one global sometimes, right? So that should probably help there, especially for, the clothies. But yeah, plate specs, classes now have their armor reduced by 30% in arenas and battlegrounds. So kind of like the opposite of what Cloth got, which I think is fair enough. So basically kind of going away a bit from the melee meta and kind of going more into a caster meta. I think it's going to kind of meet and balance in the middle. I think it's a good changes. Right now, most shuffles is going to be 4 melees, right? Or maybe 1 caster. Now we might be looking at more of 2 casters, 2 melees on average. That's my guesstimate, but yeah, we're going to see. The Gladiator's Distinction 2P set bonus now increased stamina by 50% for damage dealers and tank rolls. Was 5%. So this is the bonus from having 2 PP trinkets. I think it's a good change as well. Wait, is it? Yeah, it is. So yeah, some more stamina. Again, slowing down the pace a bit. Not by like a huge amount, but it should kind of calm the game down a bit overall. And then all fair root effects in PvP may now take 100% more damage before canceling in PvP combat. This is interesting. Honestly, I didn't really realize that this was a thing that they broke fast. But this should be quite nice for roots and such, because as a Feral Druid, one of our best tools when it comes to living other melees is rooting them, and then kind of spacing, and then doing damage and avoiding damage. So getting a few more bleed ticks in the roots, and just some time to create more space, should be very nice. So that's a good change. And then we have the Druid stuff in PvP. So, Druid in general. Boomy form now increased armor by 100% in PvP. Was 125. So, actually, Boomy getting a bit of nerf to armor. And it's leatherware, by the way. So keep in mind that they're a caster, but they're not benefiting from this. I don't know if Boomy needed this. I feel like Boomy was already fairly squishy. Deep roots increase the amount of damage required to cancel entangling roots or mass to entangle, because this is not really affecting Feral either. But, guys, this is kind of what restores my hope a bit, okay? And that is the buff to Frenzied Regen. I've been saying this a lot in my streams, my videos, but the most simple fix to Feral Druid is buffing Frenzied Regen. Now, this is only 20%, right? It's not going to do it like a crazy difference. But this, in combination with the Rigor buffs we've gotten in recent times, should be helping us quite a bit. And also, you know, if we're looking at nerfs to other specs like sub and such, we should be able to live more. And that has been the biggest problem by far with Feral Druid so far. I would say this season for sure, but in general, Dragonflight, we've been so squishy. We are the highest killed melee, basically across the board in every bracket when it comes to First Blood. And yeah, it's been a really tough time. Anyone who plays Feral, you know, this is the biggest complaint. The Q Feral, getting the shuffle every round. By default, they are the main target, no matter what. Like, no questions asked. You're going to the Feral Druid, right? And this needs to change. And this, I think, will help change that. It's a good start. I hope it's kind of like what they did with the Rigor, where they start with 20% and then do 20 more percent. But yeah, very welcome change. Like, there's been times where I do Heart of the Wild, double Frenzied Regen, and I die to like no cooldowns, like, and a couple dots, or even just like not gain HP to a couple of dots. It's really bad once dampening kicks in a bit, and you have like an MS effect on you. It does basically nothing, and it's almost not even worth the global in the current game. So yeah, that's my rant about that though. I know, like, I've been, you know, complaining a lot about that, like Frenzied Regen specifically, and I don't want to complain too much, but I do think that I have a platform that I really want to use because I love Feral Druid. I love playing it. It's the one spec I find the most fun by far. But yeah, it has some big problems that are holding it back a lot. But yes, so that's my quick kind of summary of these changes. Of course, there's like many specs changes to other things as well. But you guys can go ahead and read that. I'll link this in the description below if you want to go through it. But yeah, I'm going to focus on Feral. Shadow, by the way, buffed. Very, very nice. I actually think Shadow Priest is a great spec and very fun spec to play against and play with. So that's good. But yes, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.